everything's good. All right, let's take a swip. All right, guys. So let's start with this. If you guys have a girlfriend, wife, whatever it may be, and if she has ever told you she needed space away from you, or I'm just not ready when you guys are together already, or I just need to find myself, then this life is for you, okay? Because most men think they're building attraction when in reality they're creating a lot of pressure in their relationship. Now, if you're new here, my name is Mitchell. I'm a relationship coach, and in today's live video, I'll be talking about the differences between tension and pressure in relationships. So let's talk about the first thing, which is tension that creates curiosity, but pressure in relationships creates obligations. So let's talk about a healthy tension, okay, and what it looks like. Healthy tension comes from not fully taking away the mystery that you have in a relationship. So she doesn't feel like she has full access to you all the time, whether it's emotionally, mentally, or physically. She doesn't have you right away. Now, this keeps her curious, it keeps her engaged, and it keeps her leaning in for more because she wants to understand you a little bit more. Now, however, pressure in relationship, it shows up when a man starts to seek a lot of reassurance. So seeking reassurance, things like asking for things like, well, where do I stand in this relationship? Like, do you still love me? Do you still care? That's like asking for where he stands. Now, needing quick replies. So I need you to answer quickly so that I can feel better about myself. That's asking for reassurance, right? Where he stands, asking for quicker replies, or just looking in or fishing for other validations, like, oh, you're so good, or you're so much better than all my other exes in the past, so that he can feel better about himself for what he's lacking. Now, this is the moment where she feels like she's responsible for your emotional state, and no woman wants to be responsible for another man's emotional states. And this is where it happens. That this happens from her liking you or feeling attracted to you to her feeling like she's obligated to help you. So then when obligation kicks in and starts to fire up in a relationship, when you start to feel like, hey, I need this from her so I can feel a little bit better about myself, that's the moment where it starts killing desire. So she is no longer want to desire you as a man. She doesn't see you as much of a man. So what happens? She starts losing respect, and where respect goes, love follows. So thank you. So she will no longer feel like she wants to feel close to you anymore. So, and it's because at this moment she's too busy being repulsed by you. She's not going to be attracted to you. She's going to want to move away. Now, let's switch back to tension. Tension exists when there is emotional space for her to feel like she could choose you. So she doesn't have this complete certainty about you. There's still a little mystery. You're holding a little bit of mystery. You're available, but you're not fully available. And she's uncertain about what certain things about you in the future. So it allows, and this is where it allows attractions to build. It allows her to build curiosity. Algorithms, probably. Who knows? So now, curiosity. Curiosity is what keeps her emotionally engaged. She pays attention because there's more to discover about you. So she's thinking like, oh, I wonder if he's thinking about me right now. And this is your girlfriend or your wife. I wonder if he's thinking about me right now. I wonder what he's doing. I wonder if he's doing this or that, right? And she's not thinking about bad things neither. It's just the idea of, does he still care about me? There's that little bit of mystery. There's that little tension. And just like music, it's those spaces in between the music that makes music so beautiful. And so when you apply it into relationships, you want space to create this harmony in your relationship so that she feels like she could come to you whenever she wants. But there's, like I said, there's that little lack of certainty. Like, just because I want him, it doesn't mean he's immediately available. But I know that there is this certainty that he is going to come back. I just don't know when. So it's the anticipation of her. So that's what builds attraction. And, to give you another example, think of a string. If you get a piece of string and you pull on it, there's tension. And tension is what builds attraction in relationship, not pressure. Okay? So when a man over pursues, hello. When a man over pursues and tries to do more than he should, he adds pressure into the relationship. When a man, like I said, he seeks for constant reassurance, he needs clarity, he needs validation. Everything starts to reveal, not only about himself, but also all his other insecurities as well. And so she really got nothing left to think about. Questions like, oh, do you still like me? Where do I stand? Or where does she stand, so that he could feel validated or not? And it's little things like this that shifts her from being attracted to being repulsed by you. Now, she begins to feel responsible for managing your emotions. And when that happens, desire turns into duty. So she feels like she is obligated to keep you happy because you don't have a life that you are leading on your own. Number 2, tension allows freedom. Tension allows freedom. Pressure tries to control certain outcomes. Tension exists when you give her space to choose you freely. I'm going to say that again. Tension exists when you give her space to choose you freely, meaning it is her choice to want to come to you. You're not you're not looking in over to her phone, seeing who she's texting or who she's calling or whatever it may be. You're not tracking her responses. Oh, how come she's not responding to me at a certain time that you want? Or you're not really trying to steer every interaction or conversation into a certain outcome that you want. Pressure, okay, happens when a man is outcome focused. When he's, oh, I want this from her. So he's pushing for commitment. He's asking for exclusivity. He needs clarity in relationship. And I'm not saying that it does not work, but a man should never lean on that and hope for something to happen. And which is why I always suggest that men don't worry too much about relationship. If she likes you enough, she's going to be the one asking you to be her boyfriend, not the other way around. Does it mean that if a guy asks a woman to be his girl, she's, does it not happen? Absolutely not. I'm just saying that it is always better if it's her choice to ask you to be the boyfriend, because at that point the door is open. All you have to do is just agree if you want to. So basically, in other words, tension, you're basically inviting her. You're not insisting her to be a certain thing. Like, oh, you should be my girlfriend. It's like, no. Like, if everything is done properly, all you have to do is take a step back and just have her come to you. And she's gonna be like, so what are we? Where do you see where do you see this going? That's what you want from a girl, okay? Even if let's just say she wants to get married, she's gonna be the one that's kind of hinting to you about, hey, so where do you see this going in the future? Like, what do you mean? And just, be curious, remain charming, and start asking more questions. Now, healthy tension means that you're not attached. Okay? Healthy tension means that you're not attached to a specific result. You're not expecting a certain outcome. Basically, either she's in or she's out. And you're not upset by it. You're not passively aggressive, right? You're not bothered. Because your presence is important. You're present in the current moment. You're grounded, and you're inviting her into your world. And most importantly, you're not, like I said, you're not steering every interaction that you have towards security or commitment. She feels free to choose you. You're allowing her to choose you, which makes it more meaningful because it is her choice. And just like in sales, you always give them the opportunity to buy, not to be sold to. Now, pressure shows up as being too outcome focused. This includes relationship labels, timelines, and I need certain things like emotional security. Basically, it's like, well, we've been, I've heard a lot of guys talk about, oh, so we've been seeing each other for a while now. Like, how do you feel? Like, do you want to be my girlfriend? And like I said, I'm not saying that there's no way a woman would not say yes. It's just not in your best interest to ask that question, because if she's not ready and you ask that question, it would come off as too much pressure. And like I said, even if your behavior was with good intent or well intended, like over explaining your feelings, this can feel like it's controlling. Even if, like I said, even if it's well intended, it feels controlling because it removes freedom for her to move at her own pace, which takes away the will to be kind of curious about you. And so number 3, tension comes from self-direction. As a guy, you should already have a place that you want to go. So tension, why are these guys so sought after, especially by women? It's because when you have self-direction as a guy, you already know where you're going. You have a purpose. You have a mission in life. You know where you're going, and you're not always available. But pressure comes from insecurity. So when a lot of guys give a lot of pressure to women, it comes from their own insecurity. It's like, well, I don't want to waste my time, or I don't want to do it. It's like, well, you know what? Then just because you're insecure, you're not allowing her to move at her own pace. That's your insecurity, not her. So she's not responsible for your insecurities. But if you're a guy and you are moving at your own pace and you have self-direction, a man with direction has goals. He has a routine that he has, a ritual, if you will, and he moves with purpose. Now, when a guy does this, he creates tension even without trying. He is not available 24/7. And also his life has momentum. He gets pulled into things that excites him. So, and that naturally signals a lot of value and a lot of independence. Now, when you signal independence, it draws her in. It draws her in even more because she's too used to the other guys that got nothing really going on for themselves, that's too desperate and cannot control his emotions. Pressure, okay? Pressure comes from when a man basically abandons his own life. He loses himself in things that he really shouldn't be losing himself in. Maybe it's too much relaxing. It's too much consumption of one thing or another, whether it's consuming too much food or is it consuming too much Netflix or, stream, whatever it may be. Doom scrolling. It's like a man with a purpose, he moves at his own pace and he knows where his time is going to be delegated to. Like, what is he going to spend his time in? And so when she becomes the main source of excitement and validation and emotional stability for him, that it's too much weight for her. She feels like there's too much weight on her and it just does not feel light. And when it doesn't feel light, it feels like a lot of pressure. So a man that's moving towards something bigger than bigger than his own relationship that he's in, it naturally creates a polarity. It naturally creates sexual polarity. And that's the difference between being masculine and being feminine. It's how you act as a man. And sometimes for a lot of guys that has not been taught this, yes, there's going to be a time where you have to fake it a little bit, but eventually you want to learn how to make it, because you can't be faking it all the time. So in the beginning, even for me, I was not sure. I'm like, well, what does it mean to be a masculine man? What does it mean to create this type of sexual polarity that allows her to be drawn into me as a guy, as opposed to me wanting certain things? And I didn't know. And what I thought I was creating a lot of tension for her, I was just creating pressure. I was just passively aggressive because I didn't get what I want. Now, a masculine man, he's gonna go either way. He's gonna do that regardless whether or not she wants to follow or not. And if she doesn't, by all means, it's okay. But I saw it as, how come I feel like I'm doing everything right. I'm leading my own life. How come no one wants to follow? It's because what I'm thinking about, like I'm still outcome focused. I'm still too focused on whether or not she's gonna follow me or not. Who gives a shit whether or not she follows me or not? That's what it's supposed to feel like. But I was still outcome focused while, trying to trick myself like, oh, I'm leading my life. I really wasn't. And it wasn't until I started practicing this over and over. And that was when I realized, I was like, wow, you really have to just move and not give a fuck. That's really what it means. Okay. So when a man moves towards something bigger than himself, bigger than the relationship, it creates natural polarity in the relationship. Now, this is a type of compliment that complements her feminine energy. Being masculine complements her being feminine around you. Feminine energy is about bonding. It's about connecting. It's about opening up to receive love. Shout out to Coach Corey Wayne. But this is so important, and a lot of people, they don't believe in that. They're like, oh, a relationship should be like this. It's like, well, you know what? There's a lot of women out there that wants to be open up, but it takes a very masculine man to open up a feminine woman. Otherwise, she's gonna feel like she has to take the lead in the relationship, and that switches her feminine energy into more masculine, and that's not where she wants to stay most of the time. She's probably dealing with a lot of that at work already. So it's your job as a man to lead, to open her up, to ask questions, to wonder if, how was your day? Let her talk. Men already don't listen enough. So listen a little bit more, guys. All right. So pressure happens. Pressure happens when a man loses or lacks self-direction, when he doesn't have anything going on for himself, or he once had it and now he doesn't. Okay. And subconsciously lean towards a relationship to fill a void. He begins shaping his schedule and his emotions and his decisions around her reactions. Now, when a guy allows that to happen in his life, not only does she lose respect for him, she cannot love a guy. Okay. Where respect goes, love follows. And naturally, she's going to be repulsed by that man. And hopefully that man is not you. All right. And now lastly, this is the last thing I want to talk about tension and pressure. Tension invites her to invest. It invites her to invest her feelings towards you. Pressure makes her pull away. Pressure makes it feel like you're trapping her. Like no woman ever wants to feel trapped. So it's always about being inviting. And that's what creates healthy tension. It's like no different than a guy walking up to a woman, having a good conversation, but lays out the truth and be like, hey, I'd love to get to know you a little bit more. When's the next time you're free? Let's go over here. And creates a date, or maybe gets her number, talk for a little bit longer, get to know her a little bit, and then use the phone to start setting dates. So healthy tension starts to invest. She will start to invest emotionally. She starts initiating contact. She starts asking questions, and she will start suggesting plans. And her attraction grows because she's earning your trust. She's earning access to your time, little at a time. With pressure, on the other hand, she subconsciously pulls away. It's like, well, why is that happening? You get a lot of slower replies. There's a lot of cancellation in plans, and there's a lot of distance between you guys, whether it's just texting or emotionally distancing herself away from you. So this is because she's responding to being pushed or pressured instead of being drawn to. And that's the difference between what a lot of guys do differently. And that's the difference that makes the difference. It's allowing tension versus being pressured. And a lot of guys get those mixed up. Women move towards what feels light and optional to her. If it feels open and free to her, she will lean towards that a little bit more. But women will not lean towards heavy and demanding guys. And a lot of guys that get that mixed up, they think being demanding is being assertive. It's like, no, those are two different things. Now, when tension is present, she starts to earn access emotionally and physically. All right, she invests, she feels excited, and more importantly, it's voluntary. It's her choice. Her effort increases naturally. That's what happens because she's trying to close the gap between you guys. She's trying to invest her time into you. She wants your attention, not responding to demands. She doesn't want to respond to your demands. And so that's why when a guy has his own purpose and he goes for what he wants, but still reserves a time because he knows what he wants, and he's like, you know what, I'd love to get to know you a little bit more. And so he's not pressured. He's not pressuring her to do things that she doesn't want to do or she's not ready to. So this is why I've always say that it is important for men not to be overly concerned about relationship labels or where he stands, because even if it's well intended, it comes across as being too controlling. When you pressure a woman, it flips the dynamic between you guys. All right, she senses expectation, like wanting faster replies, more reassurance, clear commitments, like what are we? Like I said, even if it's unspoken, that expectation, it creates a lot of resistance, which will create, or not create, but it will have her pulling away a little bit more. And the reason why she pulls away is because she needs a little bit more breathing room. And so a woman would never ever say this to a guy. She would never tell a guy she needs space if she does not feel pressured or not feeling smothered by him. Okay? And so here are the main takeaways from these 4 things that I was talking about, right? Attraction grows in freedom, but it dies under expectation. And remember this, tension builds a lot of curiosity. Tension builds freedom and it builds attraction. But pressure destroys all 3 of those. Thank you for watching. If you want to see more videos like this, make sure you hit the like, subscribe, and share this with one of your friends or whoever you think will need it. My name is Mitchell. I'm a relationship coach, and I'll see you on the next one.